everybody. So now we're going to put a handle on this cup, and we're going to think about how that handle fits the side of the form. So I'm looking at the handles that I carved earlier, and I'm kind of placing them, and it looks like that one might be a little bit too small for what we have right here, so I don't think we'll use that one. This one looks like it might be a good size. Yeah, see how the way I'm placing this like this in the picture, where it would attach and where it would come down and contour to the side of the cup. So it's actually following the form or the shape of the cup. It's not going to look like it was just stuck on. So we're going to go with this one. So how I determine what to do next, I'll decide where on the cup that I want this. Now, of course, if I have a little flaw somewhere, then I'm going to decide that's where this is going to go. So I kind of just look at it just like I was showing you, and I'm deciding that my cup is going to attach right around here, and that it'll come down and attach down here. So it comes right out of the side of the cup and then comes back to the contour. And so I'm looking at how my shape is right here, and how it's going to be attached and the way I want it to come back. So I'm going to just mark right here on my handle how I want to cut that, because that's how it's going to be attached to the side here. So before I cut that, I'm going to go ahead and do what we call scoring. So I'm going to go ahead and score the side, and what that means is that I'm really going to mark that up. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the slurry from at the bottom of my bucket, and that works as my glue. So as you can see, the slurry. Now my hands are all dirty. So and I've marked on here how I'm going to cut this, so you can see that I'm going to cut this at that angle, because that's how it's going to fit on my mug. Now, see how I've cut that off? I'm going to go ahead and just kind of round out that edge a little bit, and all I'm doing is kind of folding it over. See? Now I'm also going to cut this up. This is called slipping and scoring, unless you're 6, and then it's scratch and attach. So I've done that on both sides, and I'm going to use the slurry from the bottom of my bucket, and I'm going to put that on both sides, and that's going to act as my glue. Always remember to have a nice clean sponge close by. You want to have as clean of hands as possible when doing this. So now you'll notice I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to support this on the inside, and on this side I'm going to go ahead and attach my handle. And we're going to want to make sure it's nice and straight. I want it to come up a little bit. I'm going to use my sponge to kind of set that in place. I don't want it to be too wet. So watch how I press that up. Good. And I'm going to make sure that it's straight. So that's what I'm doing right here, just making sure it's straight. And I'm just moving that in. Like I said before, the little, you don't want to touch it. So I'm going to just put my finger in here and kind of press that down all the way around. And I'm going to use a nice clean sponge to clean that edge right there. Make sure you're attached really nice. Okay, so I've attached that there, and now I want it to come down and contour to the side. So if I look at this, I think right about there is a good spot. So we'll be attaching it right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and pinch that bottom off. And I'm going to slip and score on both sides again. Kind of doing this backwards so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take my slip again from the bottom of my bucket, or slurry. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to just pinch that in shape. I like to put a little, I have a little stamp that I'll put in here that I will show you later. It's just kind of my signature handle, and now I'm just using the stamp sponge to kind of clean up any mess that I made. It's a good idea to get as much off as possible so you don't have to do it later on. It's always easier to clean it up in this stage. If it needs a little pick-me-up, we can just pick this up like this and do that. Doing bowls with you in our next lesson. Peace, love, and pot.